Remember to like the video, share your thoughts below, and subscribe to keep up with our latest stories. The silence in this old house grew heavy, transforming from peace into an oppressive burden. Since Daniel's passing, each creak of the floorboards and every sigh of the wind outside the windows resonates with the profound void he created. We claimed this piece of countryside, envisioning renovations and laughter of grandkids on the porch swing. It was just me, the peeling wallpaper, and an endless list of repairs that felt like a weight pressing down on my chest. The gutters drooped, the porch steps squished beneath my weight, and the garden? It seemed as if nature was fiercely battling to take back what was once hers. I was engulfed, lost in a tide of endless tasks that drained my spirit and left me feeling utterly helpless. My son, dear as he is, resides 3 states away, juggling a young family and a relentless job. He fretted, reached out repeatedly, yet couldn't abandon it all. My friends brought sympathy, casseroles, and good intentions, but real help? That was a different story. Then the phone rang, shattering my world with its unexpectedness. It was Nathan, my Uncle Ray's son, my cousin. We were never truly close, not in any meaningful way. Nathan, younger by a few years, always carried an air of restlessness. He had a restless spirit, bouncing from one job to another, construction, landscaping, even a fleeting adventure on a fishing boat in Alaska, or so the whispers in the family said. We met at the required weddings and funerals, sharing brief hellos and hollow how are yous, but nothing more. He resided an hour's drive in the city, a stark contrast to my quiet, dusty corner. Ellen, it's me, Nathan. His voice crackled through the line, hesitant yet resonant, deeper than I recalled. Mom revealed the truth about Daniel. I deeply regret what happened. She said you were handling the house all by yourself. I whispered that I was fine, just busy, the same old evasions. Pride, perhaps, and the fear of becoming a burden to others. He pressed on, slicing through my courteous refusal with quiet determination. I'm in a lull between jobs at the moment. It's been a whole month, and there's been nothing on the horizon. I thought I might step out for a while, offer some support. I'm familiar with every tool in that box. Dad always claimed I inherited his green thumb, for whatever that means. I was stunned. Nathan stepping in to lend a hand? It was an odd sensation, a twist of fate. A weary part of me longed to break down in tears of relief. A different side, the cautious and independent side, bristled with doubt. Why must it be this way? What was it that he truly desired? Did he anticipate a reward? Or perhaps he was simply consumed by boredom. Nathan, that's so generous of you, I said, struggling to steady my voice. Yet it weighs heavily. The chaos is overwhelming. It doesn't matter, he said with a casual shrug. Pure air, genuine labor. That works for me. His voice took on a softer edge. Uncle Ray held Daniel in the highest regard. Your support feels undeniably essential. No attachments, Ellen. Just tell me if it's all right. I paused just for a heartbeat more. The sight of the sagging gutters, the wild garden, the overwhelming task loomed in my mind. What was there to lose? All right, Nathan, I finally exhaled. That would be incredible. Thanks. 3 days later, he pulled up in a rugged pickup truck, its weathered exterior mirroring the journey he had endured. He had transformed from the lanky, awkward kid I recalled from Aunt Carol's disastrous anniversary party a decade ago. Time had shaped him, carving lines around his eyes that whispered of toil and perhaps a life lived on the edge. His smile was warm and sincere as he emerged from the truck, retrieving a pair of weathered work gloves from his back pocket. He scanned the house and yard, his eyes drawn to the porch swing swaying unevenly. All right, he said, his hands coming together with a soft clap. Where do we begin? The initial days unfolded with a delicate dance of restraint and civility. We found ourselves in uncharted waters, 2 relatives, nearly strangers, brought together by fate and his surprising proposition. I'd brew the coffee each morning, bold and rich, just as Daniel preferred. Nathan rose before dawn, already outside, his hands busy with the leaky faucet on the garden hose or checking the porch railing's strength. He moved with a serene precision that brought an unexpected sense of peace. Every action was purposeful, silence filled the air, He faced each challenge head-on, completing it with determination before diving into the next. We began with the gutters. It was a struggle with ladders, the dizzying heights, and the cold, slimy grip of decaying leaves. I stood below, passing him tools, controlling the hose to clear the downspouts, a sense of helplessness washing over me, yet gratitude surged within. He never made me feel inadequate. He shared his process, each word a careful response to my eager inquiries about fascia boards and sealant. Our conversation was brief, focused solely on the task before us. Small talk hung in the air, awkward and uncomfortable, like slipping into clothes that were never meant to be worn. "Could you pass me that trowel, please?" One afternoon, he asked, teetering dangerously close to the edge of the roof. I let it slip by, captivated by the confidence in his stride. "I see you have a handle on things," I renathaned. He looked down, a bittersweet smile flickering across his face, gathered a handful of items, each holding a story. With enough odd jobs under your belt, you become resourceful and skilled. He hesitated, prying loose another stubborn mass of grime. Or you find a way to reach out to someone who is. Silence enveloped us, punctuated only by the scrape of the trowel, the rustle of leaves against the tarp, and the distant buzz of cicadas beginning their afternoon song. The air was thick with silence, a tapestry of shared blood and diverging paths, haunted by the ghosts of family ties that bound us. Uncle Ray, his father, was Daniel's cherished fishing companion. My mom and his shared a bond as deep as sisters during their childhood. Here we stood, intertwined by invisible threads, yet utterly unaware of the intricate fabric that shaped our lives. The evenings held a profound stillness. After tidying up, we'd share modest dinners I made, driven by a sense of duty, and he appeared genuinely thankful for the warmth of a home-cooked meal. Conversations spiraled around family, each word a careful step into the depths of shared memories. He recalled that disastrous picnic at Miller's Pond one night, laughter tinged with sincerity in his voice. As Uncle Ray's canoe capsized, sending the potato salad swirling into the water, a rush of memories flooded back. Uncle Ray, sputtering and drenched in mayonnaise and weeds, flashed in my mind, while Daniel's laughter echoed, so intense it nearly split him in two. A tiny crack appeared in the wall separating us, revealing a fleeting vision of a brighter time. "Daniel adored your dad," I murmured, gauging the reaction. Nathan nodded, his eyes momentarily lost in thought. "Yeah, Dad shared those feelings too." The blow of Daniel's passing struck him deeply. He glanced over his shoulder, locking eyes with me. "We all were, Ellen. Every single one of us." His bluntness caught me off guard. It wasn't just pity, it was a deep recognition, raw, unvarnished reality. He glimpsed the sorrow I fought to conceal beneath the facade of repairs and feigned joy. As the first week ended, the gutters stood clear, the porch steps felt sturdy, and the mountain of work appeared a bit less daunting. Yet the silence in the house was shifting once more. The silence lingered, but it had shed its weighty, desolate nature. In the stillness, two souls toiled together, the air thick with the pulse of effort, the clink of coffee cups, and the delicate intertwining of fresh connections. This unexpected presence began to shift, transforming into a tentative comfort, a fragile yet surprisingly strong familiarity. I couldn't fully grasp his presence, yet a deep gratitude began to swell within me for having him there. The second week unfolded with surprising ease, a stark contrast to the struggles of the first. The initial awkwardness faded, giving way to a seamless flow of collaboration. We shifted from fixing the outside to the garden, my own towering peak of neglect. Daniel cherished this garden, nurturing roses and tomatoes from the unyielding clay soil. Since his illness and subsequent passing, it had turned into a chaotic web, a relentless, painful reminder of my inability to sustain his passion, Nathan. Yet, he plunged into it with the same unwavering resolve he'd shown in the gutters. He had an uncanny ability to sense what should be cut away, what should be uprooted, and what deserved to be cherished. These rose bushes crave a fierce touch of care. One morning, he declared, wielding a pair of heavy-duty loppers, ready to carve out a new beginning. He revealed the art of the cuts, illuminating the stark contrast between ancient wood and fresh growth. My hands, typically occupied with indoor chores or paperwork, felt awkward and unsteady as I fumbled with the tools. Yet, Nathan's patience anchored me. With a firm grip, he showed me, leading my hand with purpose. Cut away from the bud, with purpose and precision. There was a raw power in the labor, the earth clinging to my fingertips, the fierce thrill of stubborn weeds finally yielding. We toiled for hours beneath the warm sun, often wrapped in silence, yet it felt like a shared bond now. Fragments of his life would surface, shared in fleeting moments while pulling bindweed or turning compost. He shared tales of Alaska's endless, desolate beauty, the bonds forged in hardship, and the lurking peril of life on the boats. He reflected on the fleeting essence of construction work, the deep fulfillment of creating something enduring. Even as the knowledge of inevitable departure loomed, he remained silent, neither bragging nor lamenting. He spoke truths, crafting vivid images with mere words. I listened closely, assembling the fragments of his life, so unlike my own stable reality. He inquired about Daniel, not with invasive questions, but with gentle curiosity about his passions, his career, the moments that had brought him joy. Discussing Daniel with Nathan carried a weight that my conversations with friends lacked. Nathan hadn't seen him closely in years, leaving behind any judgments, any looks of sympathy. It was a conversation, a haunting recollection. It brought forth memories, both joyful and painful, yet sharing them felt like a release from their heavy solitude. On a blistering afternoon, we sought refuge beneath the sprawling oak tree at the yard's edge, clutching tall glasses of iced tea, the heat pressing down on us like an unyielding weight. We sat on the cool grass, eyes fixed on the heat rising from the freshly cleared flower beds. "You know," Nathan said, swirling the ice in his glass, "Dad used to speak of this place when you and Daniel first bought it." He described Daniel as a child with a newfound treasure, bursting with excitement over all the adventures he envisioned. A smile broke across my face, pure and effortless. He possessed sketches, blueprints, all hidden in his desk drawer. He envisioned a new workshop, a larger deck, filled with countless dreams. My voice trembled as I spoke the final words. Nathan let the silence linger, heavy and charged. He sat in silence, eyes fixed on the yard, lost in thought. After a pause, he murmured, "The soil here is rich. It demands effort, yet it rewards profoundly." It was a truth that cut deep. It was a moment of deep understanding, a glimpse of possibility, a realization of the importance of nurturing what matters. Later that week, as I cleared out the crumbling shed at the back of the property, a deeper change began to unfold. The shed overflowed with remnants of the past, rusty tools, shattered lawn chairs, piles of clay pots, and in a shadowy corner, a neglected wooden crate, cloaked in dust. "What is this?" Nathan inquired, pulling it into the open. It weighed on me. We lifted the lid, our hearts racing. Amidst the faded packing straw lay Daniel's past, dozens of his old woodworking creations. Small, intricately carved animals whispered stories of craftsmanship. A stunning inlaid box held secrets within, and a half-finished model ship, its tiny sails gently furled, lingered in a moment of unfinished dreams. I was unaware he held on to them, oblivious to their hidden location. Witnessing them, real manifestations of his passion and talent, unleashed a sudden, piercing wave of sorrow. I collapsed onto an overturned bucket, tears brimming despite my struggle to hold them back. I braced myself for Nathan's clumsy condolences or his instinct to pull away and leave me alone. He knelt beside the crate, gripping a small wooden bird, turning it over in his rough hands, lost in thought. "He was incredible," Nathan whispered, his voice heavy with heartfelt admiration. "Witness the intricacy of this." His finger traced the carved feathers, a whisper of touch that stirred deep emotions. He averted his gaze, focused solely on the bird, granting me the space to weep without the weight of scrutiny. He began to unpack the remaining pieces, placing them on the dusty workbench, each one treated with an unexpected reverence. He once showed me how to whittle, and that moment is etched in my mind. Nathan spoke softly, his words heavy with thought. "By the creek behind Grandpa's house, I was just about 10 years old. I created this oddly shaped squirrel." He let out a quiet laugh, a sound filled with unspoken depth. He said it had a soul. He began to share memories of his father, of Uncle Ray's workshop, where the air was thick with the scent of sawdust and oil. He recalled the moments of his father's patience, contrasted sharply with the times of his frustration. He shared his regrets, the haunting words unspoken before Uncle Ray's passing years ago. It felt less like a confession and more like a raw exploration of his thoughts as he intertwined his memories of his father with the haunting legacy Daniel had left in this forgotten crate. As he spoke, the silence around us pulsed with the echoes of those who had intertwined our families. In that moment, an intense understanding surged between us. It had become something far deeper than merely repairing a house. It was a journey through buried memories, confronting heartache, and discovering an unanticipated comfort in the rawness of shared vulnerability. He was more than my uncle's son. He was the restless wanderer who stirred something deep within me. He was a man deeply acquainted with grief, bearing the heavy burden of family history. His comfort came not from words, but from a silent presence and the bond of shared labor. His assistance reached deeper than mere tools and materials. It touched the shattered parts of my soul, extending a hand I never knew I craved so fiercely. The shock lay not only in his offer to help. His presence alone, simply by being himself, offered a profound depth of support. The find in the shed ignited a spark, forging an unexpected bond between us. As we worked through the tangled mess of the backyard, conversations deepened, revealing hidden truths. Each thorny bush we cleared unearthed not just stones, but layers of connection and emotion. We delved into the choices we made, the paths we chose, and those we left behind. Nathan shared the allure of the open road, the exhilarating freedom, yet he couldn't ignore the haunting loneliness that occasionally seeped in. He confessed that witnessing the life Daniel and I had forged here, the deep roots we had established, stirred something within him, an introspective reflection, not quite envy, but a profound contemplation. I discovered myself revealing thoughts I had kept hidden from most. The weight of uncertainty looms, a haunting void left by Daniel's absence, and the battle to rediscover my identity beyond the confines of our shared life. Nathan absorbed every word, his presence unwavering, occasionally sharing insights born from his own extraordinary journey. He provided no answers, only a deep sense of empathy. One afternoon, he leaned on his shovel, sweat trickling down his brow, and said, "Sometimes the plans we make don't mean a thing. Life hurls unexpected challenges. You've got to find a way to change your swing." It felt straightforward, nearly a cliché, yet from him, someone who had weathered countless storms, it struck a deep chord. One evening, after a grueling battle with a stubborn old stump, we both lacked the energy to cook. I mentioned a pizza place in town that's worth trying. "This one's on me." "Sounds good," Nathan said, his voice steady yet filled with unspoken weight. We ventured into the nearby small town, our first real escape from the property, aside from quick supply runs. The brightly lit pizzeria buzzed with life, and amidst the chatter, a sense of normalcy washed over me, tinged with an undeniable weight. It was a moment away from the confined bubble we had built at home. Surrounded by pizza and beers, the conversation turned to family dynamics, revealing the unspoken tensions and fierce loyalties that pulse beneath the surface of any clan. Nathan revealed a tale of a rift between his dad and another uncle, a story I had only caught faint echoes of before. He spoke with a heavy heart, mourning the years that slipped away in silence. "Family," he breathed out, the weight of the word heavy as he took a sip of his beer. "Can't live with them, can't, well, you know, but they're yours, imperfections and all." Daniel often claimed that blood runs deeper than water, yet there are moments when water goes down smoother. I responded, recalling one of Daniel's sharp insights. Nathan's laughter erupted, genuine and full of life. He was right. In our conversation, I felt a shift within me, a profound change in how I viewed Nathan. The once aimless cousin transformed into a man of quiet strength, revealing a surprising depth of emotion and thoughtfulness. He bore his burdens, his past heavy on his shoulders, yet he refused to let them shape him in darkness. Instead, they had built a strength and understanding that I found myself leaning on more and more. The emotional peak of his visit arrived not with a flourish, but in a quiet, piercing moment. It came softly, out of nowhere, on a dreary, rain-soaked afternoon. Trapped inside, we had no choice but to leave our work outside behind. As I sifted through a box of old photographs, memories flooded back, each image a weighty decision, what to hold on to, what to let go. It was a daunting task I had long evaded. Nathan meticulously sanded down Daniel's half-finished carving, each stroke echoing the weight of unspoken words and unfinished dreams. The sandpaper's rhythmic scrape, a calming whisper amid the relentless drumming of the rain. I retrieved a photo of Daniel and me, captured 2 decades ago during a beach getaway. We were young, carefree, and blissfully ignorant of the storms that life would soon unleash upon us. A surge of yearning enveloped me, so powerful it took my breath away. I dropped the photo, tears threatening to spill. Nathan paused, the sander falling silent. He remained silent, his gaze fixed on me, an unspoken depth of understanding in his eyes. He set the carving aside, dusted off his hands on his jeans, and approached the box of photos with a heavy heart. He stayed back, respecting the silence. He picked up an old photo, capturing a large family gathering from decades past. Uncle Ray stood close, a wide grin on his face, his arm draped over Daniel's shoulders. My parents lingered close by while Nathan and I, just kids, faded into the background, our boredom palpable. "Look at us," he murmured, a subtle smile playing on his lips. "You were already commanding someone, likely me." A shaky laugh escaped me. Perhaps I was. He gestured towards Uncle Ray and Daniel. They seemed so blissful in that moment. They were, I breathed softly. We lingered in silence, gazing at the picture, a poignant reminder of our intertwined past, the love and losses that connected our families in an unbreakable bond. In that instant, enveloped by the aroma of aged paper and the whisper of rain, an intense bond formed between us. It lacked any trace of romance. It ran deeper, touching the very core of existence. It was a bond of family, rekindled and strengthened. In the depths of grief and uncertainty, there was a flicker of solace, an understanding that you were not truly alone. Another soul grasped the terrain of your history, acknowledged the figures in the images, and bore the burden of the memories alongside you. Nathan's presence, his silent understanding, his mere existence beside me became a lifeline amidst the chaos of my sorrow. His assistance went beyond mere repairs to my home. He was mending the fragments of my soul I believed were gone forever. The respect I held for him, for the man he truly was overwhelming. The last week of Nathan's stay came all too soon. The hardest part was behind them. The gutters held firm. The porch felt like a sanctuary. The garden lay transformed, a flicker of hope emerging from the dark mulch we had spread. The shed was meticulously arranged. Daniel's carvings, tenderly wrapped and hidden away, hold untold stories. We dedicated the last few days to small yet meaningful tasks, unclogging a stubborn window, refreshing the paint, and finally clearing away the remnants of debris from the yard. The pulse of our work shifted, heavy with the weight of his looming farewell. A newfound ease hung between us, a stark contrast to what had been. We could share a quiet moment, or dive into conversation about anything and everything. We crafted our own intimate rituals. Morning coffee on the porch, lemonade pauses beneath the oak, evening meals filled with effortless conversation. The thought of his departure filled me with dread, knowing the suffocating silence would soon engulf me. On his final evening, I prepared a heartfelt dinner: roast chicken, creamy mashed potatoes, everything that mattered. It was crucial to acknowledge the moment, to convey my appreciation in a way that transcended mere words. We sat on the porch, the sunset igniting the sky with fiery orange and deep purple, each moment heavy with unspoken words. "You've performed wonders here, Nathan, I truly mean that. Your kindness leaves me speechless." He shrugged, his gaze fixed on the yard, lost in thought. "It had to be done, and it was beneficial for me as well, Ellen. Here I am, pouring my heart into something tangible." He paused, evoking memories of Dad, stirring something deep within me. "I'm glad," I whispered, my heart heavy with unspoken words. "Daniel would have felt a deep sense of joy as well. He would have adored you." Nathan locked eyes with me, a flicker of warmth igniting in his gaze that had been absent when he first stepped in. I believe I would have felt the same way about him. I thought I understood him, but being here with you has revealed so much more. After dinner, we lingered in silence, the air thick with unspoken words. As the crickets began their haunting melody of the night, the air hung heavy, a stillness that whispered secrets. The house behind us transformed from a weight into a sanctuary, a home reborn yet forever changed. Nathan finally broke the silence, his voice steady yet filled with unspoken weight. "If you ever need anything else, anything at all, just call. I truly mean it. I will do it." I made a vow, and deep down I understood I would keep it. This had transformed into something far more urgent. A bond formed in the heat of struggle, ignited by unforeseen empathy. As dawn broke, he packed his tools into the truck, each movement heavy with unspoken thoughts. A fleeting, tense pause hung in the air as he readied himself to depart. How do you part ways after something so profound? He pivoted away from the truck door, advancing toward me with purpose. I expected a handshake, but he surprised me with a quick, strong hug. It felt unyielding, a source of comfort. Close, yet charged with unspoken tension. "Take care of yourself, Ellen," he said, his voice edged with an unfamiliar intensity. "So are you, Nathan. Stay safe on the road." I stood there, heart racing, as his truck roared down the driveway and vanished onto the road, leaving only silence in its wake. The silence fell once more, but this time it carried a different weight, a haunting stillness that lingered in the air. The house was changed. As I stood on the solid porch steps, gazing at the tidy garden and the pristine gutters, a wave of difference washed over me. A wave of accomplishment washed over me. But deeper still was a profound sense of renewal. Nathan's sudden offer to assist sparked a chain of events that transcended mere home repairs. The journey unfolded, revealing family ties I never knew ran so deep, showcasing my own resilience, and uncovering the quiet strength in unexpected connections. He came as my uncle's son, a near stranger, and departed as a friend, a confidant, someone who stood by me in a challenging time, offering quiet respect and steadfast support. The experience didn't wipe away my grief or fix my problems, but it revealed I wasn't alone. Connections can deepen in unexpected ways, and sometimes the most profound help comes from the most unlikely sources, given freely, transforming everything. I stepped back inside. The house no longer felt hollow. My feet felt buoyant, a sensation I hadn't experienced in ages. Thoughts swirled in my mind, heavy and overwhelming. Yet amidst the chaos, a spark of hope ignited. For the first time since Daniel's departure, I sensed a quiet strength within me, a belief that I could, at last, find my rhythm again.